Hi, everybody. It's Kira. I'm Kira, the teen librarian at Rawlings, and I'm here to give you yet another book talk. This book is actually on Hoopla, so I've cut out the cover, so I'm going to show it to you. It's called Not Your Sidekick by C.B. Lee, and it's actually the beginning of a trilogy. And the trilogy sort of develops things. I'm going to try not to give any spoilers. So Not Your Sidekick is a tremendously fun superhero novel that sort of deftly incorporates issues about racial identity, sexuality, gender identity, and family. But it doesn't put these issues at the center of the story. It's kind of hard to describe without giving things away. So I'm just going to keep going. So Jess, as she goes, Jess Tran, she's half Vietnamese and half Chinese American. She's bisexual, and she lives in 2123, a world that has survived various climate catastrophes and a World War III over diminished resources. So there aren't the sort of countries we think of now. There are different collectives all over the world, and different parts of land don't exist anymore. So she's the daughter of two C-list superheroes, meaning they're not as strong, who have cover identities. Nobody knows that they're her parents. They think her parents are a real estate agent, and I can't remember what her mother does. And they take on sort of local, similarly powered villains in their small city of Andover, Nevada. And they're never super intense battles. So that's always going on. But her parents do have metahuman abilities. And she's also the younger sister of a seemingly perfect young woman who's been great in school and has really strong superpowers and is now part of the, let me just see what it's called, the League of Heroes. So the book begins, she's about to turn 17, and nobody's powers have ever manifested themselves after 17. So she goes out by herself, and she's testing to see if she has these abilities, and she doesn't have any of them, and she's super disappointed because, she has a younger brother, and he's just a crazy genius. He's already finished college or something, and he's a little kid. And she feels less than. And even though her parents are very supportive, her sister's kind of a little bit of a jerk, a little bit. Not necessarily meaning to be, but so in school, she's pretty average. She does okay. She doesn't stand out in any way. She has not dated anyone. She's just sort of, one of those people who not a ton of people notice. She's in one AP class, which is English, and she loves it. She has some nostalgic tastes. She likes to write by hand in her journals, and she also likes to read actual comic books about the heroes rather than I have this written down. Holo screens, because you can just, you can see anything on your devices. But, she's not feeling great at the beginning of the book because of this. But she's got two really close friends who are awesome. Emma and Bells. And she also has a really big crush on the star of the volleyball team, whose name's Abby. So her friends Emma is always crushing on a different boy like every week. And so Bells is trans, and he's fantastic. His family owns a restaurant, and they grow their own food, so it's an amazing restaurant. And he always has different colored hair and different lengths, and he's got this amazing style, which reflects, both his love of self-expression and possibly something else. So the emerging crisis that basically drives the plot begins when she realizes she doesn't have any powers, and she's like, well, I've got to get an internship so that it'll help me get into college. And she lands what appears to be a really boring clerical internship, but what's cool is that it's in the experimental division of Monroe Industries. And Monroe Industries is this super leading tech firm in the world. And it's in the experimental division, even if she's doing boring stuff. That's pretty cool. So, yes, a lot of the work she does is pretty boring, filing, organizing, but she's really good at that stuff and enjoys it. She gets bored after a while, but she's really good at it. And so her boss is this mystery figure who's in a tech suit. And the boss just goes as M. But Abby works there too. But what's weird is she never sees Abby and M at the same time. And so she starts developing a more trusting relationship with M, and she gets to know Abby, and she and Abby work on a story together. So they sort of start, it's a very slow emergence of a romance, which is even more sort of satisfying to read. So through these developing relationships and through her own research, she starts noticing weird things just in her life, and then trying to track stuff down, and it being very hard to do research before a certain date. And she starts noticing that this is weird. And then by getting to know M and by getting to know Abby really well, she basically discovers that everything she knows and believes about the League of Heroes is not the truth. And along with Abby and Bells, she has to sort of undertake this superhuman effort to preserve some sort of justice. And that adventure continues in the next ones, but it's super exciting and fun. The characters are fun and relatable. I really loved this book when I read it. And the writer, C.B. Lee, I got to meet her at a conference. She's awesome. And I love the fact that this is sort of what they would call a diverse book, but the diversity in the book is not sort of the focus of the book. It gets attention, and these issues are dealt with, but it's not driving everything in the book. It's just like part of who these characters are and things they have to deal with. But it has nothing to do with how heroic they can be and how amazing they can be as people. So that's part of why I really love it. I also really love it because it's super fun. So I definitely recommend you check it out on Hulu, Not Your Sidekick. Yeah, it's super fun. And I also just want to say, as always, that we miss you at the library. We miss seeing you. We miss talking to you. We miss hanging out with you. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and both mentally healthy and physically healthy, that you're hanging out with each other virtually when you can't necessarily physically. And I can't wait until we get to the point that I can see you guys again. So take good care, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Oh, I did I was just going to show you my developing henna. So it looks pretty good, right? It's funny because after we turned off the computer, I forgot about it and I had to get downstairs to do more work, and I totally like got it everywhere. You would have laughed because I'm a goof. I managed to clean it up pretty much, though I have this weird little kind of moment here. But yeah, it was fun, and it got darker. I put olive oil on it, and I hope you guys are having fun with that too. Okay, I'll see you next week, and keep being awesome. Okay, bye-bye.